comes back down to making sure that you put yourself into a situation where you don't have any other choice but to succeed. That's the secret for me, because I feel like if I give myself outs or I give myself the ability to like not do it, I'm not gonna. Like, why would I?
Instead of running away from the situation, just take a pause, do what you love to do, come back again with a high energy instead of just new energy, with a high energy.
I've learned the hard way. I've definitely lost a significant amount of money saying yes to the wrong projects. So as a service provider, you really have to say yes to the right stuff, especially as an agency. I feel like as an agency, your business is not so much your skill, in my opinion, as much as I feel like it's your ability to choose the right projects.
Podcast allowing us to build a lot of great networks. Only because of this podcast platform, I got so many incredible opportunities that I cannot think of. But this is a platform helped me in many ways in my own journey.
Now, what outside of ads, or if I just can't afford or don't want to run ads at all, there's a variety of ways to get clients. Going to events and networking. Those are by far, I think, the most powerful ways to get clients, because
Hey everyone, welcome to the Entrepreneur Warrior Show. I'm your host Nilesh Jain, and this is where we host entrepreneurs who are warrior. They are warrior not in the battleground, but they are warrior in their entrepreneurship journey, in their daily lifestyle. They are fighting to make things happen, to make impact in people's life, to make transform their own life, and that's what the Entrepreneur Warrior Show is. And today in this journey of entrepreneurship, today we have one of the most incredible guests, and his journey is very much inspiring. He's from a felony charges to a ClickFunnel award winner. He is a 2 comma club X, 2 comma club C award winner. And it's not like that he got all the award on the day one he started his journey back in 2020 2012. Before that, also hustling. He's hustling a lot. So it's a story of a comeback, a resilience, which is hustling with a lot of things, seeing a lot of failure, a lot of downfalls, but never giving up. This is a story of Derek Tsuboi. And this person made nowhere from zero to become millionaire, multi-millionaire. He built multi seven figure, multi eight figure, even nine figure business for himself. And he's a digital marketing wizard and business consultant. So without further ado, let me have Derek on the Entrepreneur Warrior Show. Hi, Derek. It's a really honor and pleasure to have you.
hey, how's it going? Great to be here.
Same here. Hosting podcast with you is amazing thing for me. Thank you so much for being here. How are you?
Yeah, man. Doing pretty good. Excited to be
Yeah.
here. Excited to share my story. Definitely one of those things that I've kind of put out there more recently. So just excited to talk about that and unpack some things here.
That story that you have shared is really impactful, but it's read by me. So I would love to hear from you, like how Derek is started his journey. What was the exact moment, the pinpoint that push you that okay, I can go into the entrepreneurship. How did you got entered into this world of entrepreneurship, business, internet marketing?
So I didn't really decide to get into it. It was kind of by accident. I,
Wow.
originally started in music and started playing in bands. And of course, you have to market your music. I realized that kind of early on into my career. So I got into marketing really through that. And then through those interests, I was able to move into a corporate marketing job where I could actually learn marketing and learn from people doing it every day. I spent 6 years really learning and honing my crafts there before, actually, while also launching many like failures and uh, agencies and different businesses that didn't really go very far. Till I eventually got into the agency that I'm in now, of which has been many ups and downs, failures, wins, losses, you name it. I mean, if you've built anything before, you probably understand what I'm talking about.
That's interesting. So, like, with a lot of failure. Looking back to your journey, like what was the single biggest turning point that changed everything for you in your journey?
I would say one of the biggest, I mean, there's been several, but one of the biggest
Hmm.
was transitioning from a corporate job into the
Hmm.
kind of world of entrepreneurship. I sort of made that realization after providing a lot of value to my corporate job. I was making and helping provide a lot of revenue to the company through our marketing. And I eventually started to get the idea that maybe I could do this for other companies. Maybe I could do this for other businesses. I started an e-commerce business with a couple friends, and we grew that on the back of paid ads and community and some really great products and a great business model. And it was also inspiring to see like how we grew that from zero to multiple six figures. And it was really just three of us, mostly me on the marketing and acquisition side, and everyone else kind of focusing on supporting roles. And it was just interesting to see how far we could grow it and like how much we could actually do with digital marketing. It was the first time where I could, create something and then drive traffic to it and actually generate sales. It was kind of wild. It was really eye opening. I'd say that was probably the biggest thing that I realized. Like, wow, we actually could do something here with this.
It's quite interesting. So how exactly did it started? Like you started running ads for you that one program. How you actually
Mhm.
started getting acquisition for that one business that you have
So
started?
I started running ads initially with the band. I started running like
Mm-hmm.
ads to try to get people to come to our shows and sell merch and things like that. Some of those ads were like semi-successful, but we didn't really spend a whole lot. It'd be like maybe $100, $200 here, kind of thing. But that kind of gave me enough confidence to ask for an ads budget at my corporate job and say, hey, I got some experience doing paid ads. I've seen the agency because we were working with another agency who was managing like a $50,000 to $60,000 a year ad budget, and I was like, give me some ad budget. Let me try to run some Facebook ads and see if I could get some sales. And at the time, I was very familiar with remarketing and dynamic remarketing campaigns, so I was like, I'm pretty sure there's like a near 100% chance like I'm gonna at least like make something. Like I'm not gonna lose money doing this. And I ran some campaigns and made the company some significant returns on those campaigns. And that was the point of where I realized, oh wow, like I've made more money from these campaigns than like any effort I've ever like done. Not money for me, money for the company, of course, right? But it was just like eye opening because I was like, wow, like I could run these campaigns and like I could generate these types of results for my client. Like all this other work, because again, I was working like a 40-hour work week. I was like, all this other work is not contributing to the bottom line like the running the ads is. I mean, obviously you need to have several things in place to be able to do that, of course, and all the
True.
work
True.
around that, right? But I quickly realized that once you had something good in place, or you had a converting offer or a product that was selling to some degree, it was quite easy to come in and to pour some gasoline on that fire and essentially help it uh, explode to a degree. Like you could sell just so many more, much, much easier.
That's how it works, like the compelling offer and the paying customers, and at the same time getting hell lot of understanding the how to get the qualifying buyers, qualifying leads. Boom. That's an
Oh,
explosion for the business.
Oh yeah, that once I realized that was when
Hmm.
I was like, wow, yeah, we need to, just
Hmm.
focus 100% on agency. We need to focus just on bringing on the right project. Well,
Yeah.
at that point I was like, let's just focus on bringing on clients. I didn't really identify the right projects until a few years later because I think everyone makes that mistake where you just sign like whatever project, like whoever has enough money to pay the fees, you just sign it. Whatever promise you could make, you just sure, yeah, we'll do that. And you quickly realize that you build a nightmare, which I've done, many times, unfortunately, and uh, tear it down, rebuild it. And once you identify, the right types of clients and projects to work on,
Yeah.
things get a lot easier.
So this is making me curious to know more about that. Like, can you go deep? Like, what was the client you onboard was a worst mistake of yours, and what was the right client of yours that you are like? this is boom, everything is transformed by business. So if you can share that story about your own realization with in those areas of your journey in your
Sure.
agency.
So, worst client experience. There's been several, but one that I can bring up here was we sold a real estate agency in a box, essentially, like an offer where we were going to have anywhere from like 300 to 400 agency accounts come online at an event. Um, it started out as a good idea because we're like, wow, we're gonna have like so many accounts, and we're selling this as a product, so it's gonna make so much money, and it's gonna do so well. And oh, it did. It did very well. I think we sold like 350 units or something like that. We did $1.2 million in sales essentially over that period of time. And it was ridiculous because we didn't expect, maybe the rest of the team expected. I didn't expect us to have that many accounts. I was thinking we might maybe get like 50. So I had the team ready to like build out 50 accounts. We had everything kind of already planned and ready to go. And when we sold 350, it was like, wow, we don't have enough bodies, we don't have enough heads, we don't have enough
Yeah.
people to do this. I'm gonna need to be like building these accounts and launching them myself. Oh my goodness. It was a operational nightmare. So I realized that was the first time in like a service-based business that like we kind of overloaded ourselves or like bit off way more than we could chew. And for months, like the first 3 to 6 months were just nightmares, just awful. Eventually got it figured out and got it under control, but
Yeah.
that was like probably the most arduous project, at least for right now that I can remember. I can again think of tons of arduous projects that were difficult for one reason or another. Now, a project that worked out really well, or like a really good project, was a coach for us. Like we've had obviously several coaches, but specifically a real estate coach who we really enjoyed working with. He actually we helped grow his business quite significantly. He went from a few million to over 8 figures a year working with us over a several year period, and it was really neat because he had like all the systems, everything in place, had been doing it for a long time, mostly offline. And we helped him kind of transition from that to really focus heavily on the online side of things. And that transition really helped us like learn so much about the industry, learn so much about what works. That's where we kind of really mastered the evergreen webinar. We learned, really like a lot of the strategies that we like used over the years like came from that project, and like a lot of the kind of things we figured out with that project. And then we were able to take a lot of those learnings and duplicate that across other verticals, other industries, other clients, other projects. And it was just amazing to see like how well a lot of those frameworks translated. And that was kind of really eye-opening because had it not been for that project, or like the flexibility probably being the key there, and the working relationship with that project, like that person trusting us and having the ability or the willingness to want to adapt and change things quite drastically, was what I feel like really contributed to the success of it. And yeah, opened a lot of doors for us.
That's crazy, man. That's a beautiful thing that what you have shared is you share both story. One is the worst story, and second is where you actually enjoy the work. And worst story, I can also relate with it at some point of time because when we are hungry for making money, we are like, okay, I can go and do this. I can go and do this. I don't know if that's the case for you as well. But we are
Oh yeah,
like,
been
okay,
been
I
there.
I wanted to get this money in my bank. I'm okay, I'm going to do this all the work for you. And that's how it become worst nightmare a lot of time. I can feel it. I can
Oh
sense it.
man, I'm sure, everyone has those projects that you brought on
Mm,
or that you signed. And for us, like if a project
yeah.
doesn't work out, to that degree, or like it just
Mm,
becomes something where we never even launch it because
yeah.
the client's just difficult, or, whatever, then we just completely refund them. That's kind of like our policy. We just refund them and just move on. And at the end of the day, you don't make anything from that anyways, right? So at least for us, like the way we look at it, because I know like several people don't like refund and they'll just like take money for the time, which teach their own. I'm not going to comment on
Hmm.
that. But for us, like, we're not going to get paid either way because we're going to refund them. So for me, and usually I kind of get the final say on like what comes through the door at the end of the day. So I kind of take responsibility for that decision. And I've learned the hard way. I've definitely lost a significant amount of money saying yes to the wrong projects. So as a service provider, you really have to say yes to the right stuff, especially as an agency. I feel like as an agency, your business is not so much your skill, in my opinion, as much as I feel like it's your ability to choose the right projects.
Beautiful, man. That's choosing right project. So right now you're fully into agency, right? So a lot of people who is watching this podcast are also agency owners, are kind and also kind of freelancer service provider. So from your point of journey, from your experience, how you suggest this people to get acquired client, even if right now they don't want to run ads, or if as an agency owner, do you suggest to them to run ads for acquiring clients or not? If yes, what kind of ads do they can run? And even they want to onboard clients organically, what is your suggestion to them?
Okay, so two-part question here. I'll start with the ads part first.
Yep.
I do
Yeah.
recommend running ads, which again may sound biased because I run an ads agency, but I'll tell you this. So we didn't run ads in our agency for a number of years. I think we started running ads maybe in 2021, 2022, somewhere in there is when we started running our ads. So we had not run ads for the whole first while because sphere of influence and referrals, and we still get a lot of those as well. That's still a significant portion of like where our best client projects come from. But we do a lot of our own paid ads and specifically Google ads. We've run a lot of Facebook ads over the years as well, and it really just kind of depends on the types of offers that you run, as to opposed to like which platform can work better for you. And personally, I would suggest really leaning into your strengths because there's many ways to grow your business as a professional service provider. And for us, like the ad side of it's a bit of one of the strengths that we have. We haven't ever had like a whole lot of success in full transparency on Facebook. We've tried to run, and we are continuing to try because why not? You always got to try to run like lead generation campaigns, VSLs, low ticket offers, because that's primarily what we do for our clients, and they work really well. But for us, it's been a little bit more difficult on that side to get clients from those types of methods versus running paid ads straight to a simplified landing page, single page with a application to booked call. And previous to that, it was just straight to booked call, which we just, if you want to keep it super simple, just straight funnel to booked call would probably be the best way to run ads. I'd recommend Google ads specifically. Search campaigns are honestly the only thing that we really run there. They're cheap, they're easy to manage, they're effective as well, and you really don't need any kind of fancy design copy. Copy, yes, no fancy designs, videos or anything, but realistically, you just need copy. Good copy on the ads themselves and good copy on the landing page with a solid offer, and that's the path of least resistance to running paid ads campaigns on the cheap end that could actually convert into clients. Like desert island strategy. If I only could, work one way to get clients, that's exactly what I would do. I'd throw some text up, even run it to a Google Doc if I, could or I had to, because I can't design web pages personally. I'm an ads guy. Any questions to that before I follow up to other methods that I use to get clients?
No, I'm all set. I know that's already a powerful thing what you have shared.
Right. Yeah. That's
Yeah.
that's kind of my. I feel like everyone kind of expects that answer.
Yeah.
Now, here's the more fun answers, right? Now, what
Hmm.
outside of ads, or if I just can't afford or don't want to run ads at all, there's a variety of ways to get clients. Basically, everything I did and still do uh, prior and in addition to running ads, going to events and networking. Those are by far, I think, the most powerful ways to get clients because um, it's quick. You can pretty much get, from a meeting or like meeting someone to potentially a project within a week's time. In a lot of cases, a lot of times people are looking for things or know of people looking for things, and those opportunities can be very fast, depending on how good you are at the conversation piece and like how well you hit it off with these people. Practice makes perfect. So if you haven't really been to many, you need to get out there and go to a bunch. Coffee meetups. There are tons of like beer meetups if that's like your thing. Lots of meetup opportunities. I'm sure pretty much anywhere. You just need to find them and plug yourself into a community or network of some kind. So that way, there you can get out there and meet those people. That way, there you can get involved in some projects or at least just get your name out there. So you can be coming up, even if you're not getting the projects, at least if you're coming up as an option, you know you're on the right path.
Right.
Aside from that, you can do podcasts and content marketing. I'm here on a podcast, of course, primarily for content marketing and to connect and network and meet some new cool people. So, opportunities like that. You can do content marketing with other people. You can do your own content. You can start a blog, a YouTube channel. You can just get on TikTok and get and put some stuff out there if you want. There's so many ways to like get out there and connect with people. And then one more way, final way of this, will basically be three ways, is to offer a free version or a demo or something of your product or service. If you get a good version of like your product or service or like a sampling of it to some of the right people, it could turn into a lot more opportunities. Like for me, for example, a lot of my biggest referral opportunities were other agencies. So I would find other agencies who offered similar services to me. So like, I do paid ads. My partner Josh does funnels, and that's how we created our agency. But then we partnered with other paid ads agencies and even other web design and funnel agencies, surprisingly. And they would refer us like projects that maybe didn't fit into their scope of work, or maybe their price point was just different than ours. So there was an opportunity to refer work back and forth. We always made sure to pay referral fees, so they even if they didn't want them, just so like they felt inclined to like want to continue to send us more business. And then we would also offer to give services to those people, like we'll do a redesign or we'll help rebuild your funnel. If you want to help maybe send us some clients, or maybe we could leverage your service too. And those types of like trades and opportunities in your relationship will help create additional opportunities for those people to think about you in the future and refer you business or create those referral relationships.
That's one of the most important thing, and that's the only reason I got from the book.com secret, like start your interview podcast, become a reporter. And it's allowing you to network with a lot of top people. It allowing you to learn from the experts, and you are going to get a lot of networking opportunities just because of this. So that's
Oh,
one of the
absolutely.
major thing you have shared. Thanks for sharing that. So you also host a podcast by yourself, or you are?
Me, no, not yet. I've been thinking about maybe starting one, but I do pop on to podcasts from time to time. I do
Hmm.
at least a few a year, but more recently I've been trying to pop on to several more and get out there a
Hmm.
little bit more on the content marketing side of things.
That's interesting. That's very much interesting, and that's how I got to know about you. By the way, I like saw you in some of the podcasts I mentioned. I actually forgot the name of that one podcast, but you have dropped it on your profile that this is a podcast I went to, and I'm like, this is a interesting story. Let me have him on my podcast. So that's how I got to know about you as well. That's super
Yeah, it's
interesting.
kind of neat how that
Yeah,
works, right? Like you go on, I
yeah,
remember the first podcast I ever went on was like
yeah.
probably like 2019. And from
Wow.
that point on, I got more and more like
Hmm.
opportunities, and like more and more little like podcast interview opportunities would pop up and little things. And,
Yeah,
it's just great to have like some of this content out there, because when people, are considering working with you, they may look you up. They may want to learn more about you. And the more content that's out there and the more things they can see, even if they don't watch it, a lot of times
yeah.
they won't even watch it. They'll just want to see that it exists. And they're like,
Yes.
okay, this person's real. They're likely trustworthy.
Hmm.
So it's really a good look, I think, especially if you're a business owner, entrepreneur of any kind, if you're the face of a brand at all, um, even in careers, like if you have a corporate career or you want to do something
Hmm.
with that, the more you can become a thought leader in your space, the better
100%.
chance. Yeah, right? You've got more opportunities.
A lot podcasts allowing us to build a lot of great networks. Like only because of my this platform, this podcast platform, I got so many incredible opportunities that I might be cannot think of. But this is a platform helped me in many ways in my own journey. So that's what you have mentioned. Like thought leader is one of the best thing you all can see as a podcast if you do interview podcast. Thanks for sharing this, by the way. So you have faced a lot of troubles, financial struggles in your own journey, like a lot of personal setbacks. What kept you pushing forward all the time instead of giving up? Because giving up is something very easy, but being in the momentum, keep the momentum going on is very hard. So how you put yourself like, okay, I am here, I am going to do it no matter what.
I think it honestly just kind of comes back to the failure is not an option sort of mentality,
Hmm.
burn the boats. I feel like I'm not special, I'm not any different than anyone else in that sense. Like I always want to quit, even still now, like every other day I want to quit. So um, that's nothing that changes, and I've learned over the years that there's never going to be this sort of like feeling or like sort of like place that I'm ever going to get to where it's just not going to be that way. I've just accepted the fact that I'm always going to feel like this and I'm always going to be looking for like a way out or looking for a way to, not have to do it. So what I recommend there is just honestly hacking your environment. I don't have like any other plan Bs. I don't have any other like things going on. So I have to like make things work. I have two kids as well. So, that also helps keep things moving forward because
Hmm.
they're getting older. The demands there in terms of financials, time's the hardest thing, right? The time commitments and things are getting even bigger, and there's more to do just with other aspects of life. So it's the thing that always keeps me going because, like, I don't want to let anyone down. I've let myself down, of course. So for me, it just comes back down to making sure that you put yourself into a situation where you don't have any other choice but to succeed. Like that's the secret for me because I feel like if I give myself outs or I give myself the ability to like not do it, I'm not gonna. Like, why would I?
That's what matters the most as an entrepreneur, as a and what you mentioned is very much important, that there's no plan B. That's what we have discussed at the beginning of the podcast as well. Like there's no plan B. You all have to go all in, no matter what. You just have to keep going on and make things work for yourself, for your family, for yourself. That but loved it. So, what's the best advice you give someone who feel like they may hit their rock bottom? Like just one piece of advice from your experience, from your hard learnings. What is the one piece of advice for them that they are in rock bottom?
So I mean, I've definitely been there as well,
Hmm.
many, many times,
Many
at least
times.
a few times every other year.
Yeah.
And what I would say, at least what's worked for me, is I try to use those opportunities to take some time off, and I don't personally believe in like trying to slam my head into the wall to like try to figure something out. I oftentimes, even in my kind of daily work, when things get challenging or difficult, I oftentimes will remove myself or kind of walk away from the situation, spend time on other things, and work on other stuff. Like I play music, for example. I like to play games. I like to exercise, walk, go on hikes, and I'll spend a lot of time doing those types of things while thinking kind of in the background about my work. Like I won't be obsessive about it. I'll be subconsciously thinking about it. So it's like kind of there in the background while I'm doing other things and I'm enjoying myself first and foremost and trying to spend time to do other stuff. And usually when I do that and I come back, so a lot of times this might be a weekend. I might take a Saturday and Sunday off and just focus on myself and those things, and then I'll come back on Monday with like renewed energy, new ideas, new strategies. I'm ready to go again, and we'll slam through like whatever I need to get through. And I've just found that to work well for me. And if it's something like during the week where maybe by Wednesday I really need help, I may take that evening off and try to self-care, work on myself a little bit and come back at it the next business day.
take a break, take a pause, and restart. That's the big point you mentioned here, is that instead of running away from the situation, just take a pause, do what you love to do, come back again with a new energy, new effort, with a high energy instead of just new energy, with a high energy. That's a beautiful point. And the point you mentioned, music, you love to play music. I also love to do. I love to sing music, by the way. So
Oh
somewhere
yeah.
I love when I'm reading your story. Hey, this is one more thing that is resonating with me. That's super. Thanks for it. But the point here is just be in the momentum by doing what you love to do, and instead of giving up. But loved it. Thanks for sharing this amazing golden nugget, that I can say. So Derek, if you had to start all over again with no money, no connection, nothing with you, only your experience, only your knowledge, so how would you are going to rebuild your business in today's world? What is something you are going to do first?
Oh man, I would put together a quick offer, as I mentioned. I would probably, because I can't design websites or anything, I would either put together on like a Google Doc or like a really simple like VSL style like page, except no video. It would just be the sales letter, something like that, probably with a book a call link, or maybe even just go straight to book a call and just send them my Calendly link. No page, no funnel, no nothing. That way, there, yeah, that's actually what I would do. I would just do that because I could talk to them, right, and just get them on a call. That's pretty much how I started my agency to begin with. Was I just started booking people into calls, get them on a call, talk with them about their problems, let them basically tell me like what was going on, what they're looking for, and then at the end I'd be like, oh, yeah, so I have exactly what you're looking for. Everything you just said is exactly what I do. But here in this case, I'd have like an offer, either a paid ads offer, a fractional CMO
Yeah.
offer, something of the sort where I can do a fractionalized service over the course of maybe a couple hours a week. And I would make it a goal to sell five of them, and I would go out to events. I would network my butt off and try to find these people, get them on calls so I can then sell my service to them and try to get those five clients as soon as possible. Once I get those five clients, I'd have, probably a baseline of, 10 to 20K per month at that point because I'd be selling that service between 2 to 5K depending on like where I land on what specific service and what specific clients I can sell it to. But that'd be my range, and I'd build up my roster and I'd build up those clients, and then eventually I would turn that into maybe a service-based business on the bottom where I could bring on a team, bring on some fulfillment partners, and have them provide more services on my behalf. I just basically built an agency again, just
Beautiful.
inverted. Instead of starting with services, I start with like the
Yeah.
consulting,
Mm,
kind of more providing the value as like a
mm,
fractional marketing person, and then eventually fractionalizing the services under me because we could easily farm those services out, or I could mention, yeah, we could get those funnels done for X price, and then I could use those as upsell opportunities as well on those projects.
Man, that's insane. That's the best advice on my podcast somebody have gave me, that this is what I can do if I want to start all over again. And that's really the point, because first and most important thing in business is sell. You have
Yep.
to have an offer and you have to have a cash flow in the business, so you can actually get new client, or at least get something done for the next step. That's a beautiful thing.
Completely. Notice I didn't say anything about a paid ad, no
Yeah.
funnel. I decided through while I was working on it that I didn't even want to use a funnel or a landing page or a
Mm,
website at all.
mm,
You don't need any of that stuff at all. Like you
yeah.
mentioned, you just need a decent offer,
Mm,
know your audience and like who it's for, and then go
mm,
out, meet those people and sell the offer. As we sell the offer and we get projects and I can provide results to those clients, like I'm going to be able to have the money and the resources at that point to build in my infrastructure. I can now put up a website if I want to. I could get testimonials. I could start running ads so I don't have to go to as many events. You still need to go to events, right? And do
yeah.
those things too. But yeah, we could grow it from there pretty
That's
easily.
pretty easy, pretty awesome. And mic drop idea, that's what I can use here, because that is actually a mic drop thing for the people. If we somebody who is a completely beginner, somebody who is doing their agency but like struggling, this is for them. This is for them.
Exactly. I can't tell you
Yeah.
how many people they're like, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna get started once my web page is done," and I'm like,
Yeah.
"How much money have you spent on this web page, and how long has it taken you?" And they're like, "Oh, it's a couple thousand, and it's been like 2 months," and I'm like, "How many clients do you have?" They're like, "None." I'm like, "Oh, okay." I mean, I wouldn't recommend investing in any of that stuff until you have clients or get some projects under your belt. If you can't like freelance your way or network your way to a few projects, then you have no business starting a business.
That's actually the point that also I give to my clients as well. Like, they are like, I am only going to start my podcast when I am going to have a proper setup, proper mic, proper camera, proper lighting, proper everything, and then only I'm going to set up. But the harsh truth is, they are not actually taking initiative. I have a client who invested dollars, $2,000-3,000 to get all the things done, and for 1.5 year he didn't take any initiative. He just have all the equipment with him in a room, and it's just getting dust. All the equipment are getting dust, but they he didn't take initiative. So first thing is, go in the momentum. It's your business needs cash flow, or even if it's a podcast, your podcast needs to take initiative. So this is one of the most powerful thing that you have shared. Thanks for sharing. Appreciate
Oh
you for
man,
that.
it makes total sense. I'm sure you see that a lot in the podcast, and for me in the music world, I can't tell you how many
Yeah.
bands would manifest or come together, and they would never create a song or did never do anything. It happened all the time. So I'm just super used to that idea. Ever since I was a kid, I've seen that so much. So it's just the first thing that comes to mind when I see someone like investing a lot into the front end of things and having nothing or no basis to go off of. You'd be better off creating podcast episodes with just your iPhone, and just working on that than you would be probably doing anything else if you have nothing at all to start with.
Step is take initiative and then go and do whatever you likes to do. So might be the last point for the podcast, but this is something I really wanted to hear from you is, how do you balance your running high level business with being present for your family? Like, you have a parents, you have a wife, you have a kids, and you have a multi-millionaire $1 million business that is running on the way. So how you are managing both thing at the same time?
Well, I'd say the big key is knowing like how much is enough at the end of the day. For us, we went from being a lot bigger to scaling back and scaling down. Like my partner and I both, Josh actually had 2 kids in the last like 2 years. And then I have, of course, mine and my family, and Josh and I both are partners in all of our businesses together. And he and I both have gone through very like similar seasons of life where family is a huge part, huge emphasis. We're both musicians. He's more active on that side than I am, but both still like very huge parts of our lives. Other things, other hobbies, other stuff. Yeah, like how do you find all the time to do everything? I'll admit, my first few years of fatherhood, I was very busy working and traveling a ton to build a lot of the stuff that we have today. And then, as I've mentioned, I've built up my agency to some really big uh, precipices and big levels, but then I've scaled it back. Basically, I feel like every year we build up, I basically scale back because I end up getting like unhappy, or I just don't really like enjoy having like the structure or like all the people. And in our current iteration right now, we are like kind of the smallest version of ourselves right now, but we're super efficient. We're very lean and mean, is kind of the way I like to think about it. And we're just really focused even more so now on signing the right projects. So we sign even less clients now than ever before. But because we sign the right clients and the right projects at the right kind of price points, it helps us make what we want to make. And we've kind of decided and sort of have an idea of like what enough looks like to us. we still have, some goals and some financial goals that we still are working towards achieving. And the structure of how we work with our clients is something we're always changing. Like we're not your standard like agency, if you will. We've never been that. We're kind of a hybrid model. We're a little different, and we're constantly changing that because Josh and I prioritize like kind of our lives first, and then our work and things kind of second, I guess, to that. Like the work facilitates the lifestyle in a way, but we try not to let the work get in the way of the lifestyle, if that makes sense. Like I'm not sitting on the beach chilling and hanging out like every day, but at the same time, I go to my kids' sporting events, karate, whatever it is that I want to go to during the week, and I make sure to prioritize that stuff first, and that stuff goes in my schedule on top of the work stuff, and that's the way it goes.
Because at the end you are doing it for your family, not just for the money.
Well,
And
absolutely. I mean,
yeah.
I could go work, in a corporate setting and
Mhm.
make crazy money. Um, I could continue to scale up this agency and make crazy money. But at what cost? Like the times that we've made like the most money, I've been the least present for like my family. And to me, like that's not really worth it. That's not why I'm doing it. I don't really, at the end of the day, care that much about money. To be honest, like anyone that knows me personally knows I'm super frugal and I just don't care about the types of things that most people do when it comes to finances and money. So for me, I just want to make sure that I work enough and make enough, and that's it. I don't want really any more, if that makes sense. Like I know how much is enough for me.
How much is too much?
Yeah, like how much is enough? Like I feel like
Yeah.
that's a question I typically ask companies that we work with
Mm,
oftentimes because with paid
mm,
ads and stuff, a lot of
mm,
times they're
mm.
like, "Hey, this the sky's the limit. Unlimited ad budget at X ROAS." It's like, "Yeah, but if you've gotten up there and spent that kind of money, you've seen diminishing returns. It's not always like the more you spend the better. A lot of times it's how efficiently can we spend this
Efficiently.
budget to make the highest return possible, right? Like that's more the game we play these days as opposed to like volume. It used to be volume, like let's spend as much as possible. Look how, we spend $500,000 a month. Look at us. We're so awesome. Now it's like, how little can we spend to make the most possible? Like that's the name of the game now.
That's a very much powerful thing what you have mentioned. Like how much I can spend and get the quality instead of playing on the quantity. This is very important as a point of entrepreneur, as a point of business owners, because it's not like let me play the quantity game and I'm not able to deliver the proper deliverables. And when then if there's no deliverable, people feel like I got scammed. So instead of going on that direction, just play giving with the quality and let's win the game.
It's
Let's make our
quality on
more
both
impact.
sides, baby.
Yeah, a
Yeah.
lot. Yes. So too. Super, Derek. It's really amazing talking to you. I feel like I can do one more podcast with you, and definitely we can do. But time has its own limit. I think you also have some other schedule as well. So, respecting our both time. So we are wrapping up for here. But before we wrap up for the day, where do people can find you, connect with you, and learn more about you?
Yeah, so that would be Derek Tsuboi online. I have all pretty much of the social media profiles for the most part, most active on Facebook and LinkedIn these days. You can hit me up via email at derek@dereksuboi.com if you want to reach out to me or connect with me at some point. And happy to discuss, chat, anything. Looking obviously for business owners or even people interested in uh, potentially connecting to expand my network. So hit me up.
Superb. I'm going to drop all the link below this podcast, below this video. Just go and follow Derek because he's amazing. He's a wizard, as he's saying, marketing wizard, but definitely he's another wizard lizard. Thank you so much, Derek, for sharing a lot of nuggets on the Entrepreneur Warrior Show. The people who is watching this podcast till now, listening this podcast till this point, instead of jumping on any other podcast, what is the one thing you are going to take implement in your business, in your life? Do share in the comment section, and also share your love to Derek in the comment section, and also go and follow him. So till then, your host Nilesh Jain from the Entrepreneur Warrior Show is signing off. Looking forward to meet you on another podcast. Bye bye.